Hello everyone, I'm back today with a market review. Took no trades today, and it sucks because I really wanted fucking longs, and now it looks like it might just play out without me. And I'm gonna get right into it. Bias, obvious as fuck bullish bias. It's like I'm gonna be bullish all week unless we just displace through all this by tomorrow. But hopefully that doesn't happen because then that just means we'll be back in this shitty range, and it would be nice if we displace through it and then can like get out of the range. I don't even care if we go back to all-time highs, like, as long as we're out of this range and in a trending market. Um, but yeah, obviously bullish. We swept this low, displaced higher, made equal highs here, made a relative equal high with the previous week high, started accumulating, manipulated lower, and I expect to see distribution. Now, something. So what I said was like, all right, I wanted overnight to hit this 4 hour gap and respect it, which we did. And except ES made a relative equal low with this more premium 4 hour gap. So in my mind, it was like, all right, if we're going to be bullish, I want to see us displace higher at market open, and then I'll just get a continuation long. And if it wants to take out this 4 hour low, this 4 hour gap, and hit it on ES, then it'll go lower. So at market open, we ended up going lower, hit that 4 hour, and as soon as we hit that 4 hour, I still was not looking for a long, because within that 4 hour gap, this was the 4 hour, right below it is this 1 hour low. Like, I'm not going to try a long and there's still liquidity right there. That would mean I have a liquidity at my stop loss. I'm not going to long there. So in my mind, I was like, all right, either if I want to take a reversal, like catch the bottom type of trade, I need this low to be taken for a long. If I don't want to catch the bottom, or if I if I don't want to catch the bottom, then I would need it to displace higher after taking this, hitting this 4 hour gap, and then get a continuation because it shows that we rejected it. Now, when we hit this gap, didn't displace higher, we reswept the low, so hit that low, and at this point, that's when I started wanting longs. Except there were no internal targets. I always require an internal target, whether it's a relative equal high with a draw, or an equal high, or a data high, low resistance liquidity, something like that. I always require that. And we didn't have that here. There was nothing. Then we came up. I thought, okay, it's just going to leave without me. Maybe I'll get a continuation later. But it ended up forming this equal high and resweeping this low. And at this point, now NQ hit this 4 hour gap and also took this low. So I wanted longs again. This is just like a random low on ES. In my mind, it was like, all right, if we're going to resweep the low, there might be something here on the lower time frame, on the 1 minute, that it wants to take. And then that was just like the last low here. But I didn't really care for that much. What I cared a lot about was the fact that NQ now took out this low. But I didn't want this anymore, being one, this equal high is the only internal target. And it's far away. Like, my RR is usually 1 to 1 to 1 to 2. So let's say if like this was the leg, let's say this resweep didn't happen and this was the leg, I was actually wanting an inversion here. And it was something like this. Like, up to this high is a 1 to 1.1. That makes sense. It's not far, it's close. The RR is low. But when it's something here, let's say I took this 1 minute inversion, which ended up not happening clearly, it would have been like a 3 RR, yeah. And for me, those type of things just don't hit. So maybe if there was a second internal target within this leg, maybe if there was also an equal high here, or this was like an unfilled 5 minute gap, which it wasn't, it was a filled 5 minute gap, then that would be valid for me. But it wasn't. And regardless, this 1 minute gap, we did not get good displacement through it. And it's a small gap. Like, it's just big. All these candles are big and this gap is tiny. No, I don't like that. So as you can see, we got a bunch of rejection candles. It didn't even get a good inverse. And then when things like this happen, where I'm bullish, right? A bearish or a bullish order block is when there's a candle or set of bearish candles and then bullish candles close above it. When something like this happens inside of a fair value gap, and let's say I wanted to take this trade still, I would need it to close above this. Since we made this wick inside of it, and this is a bearish candles, these three. If I want to take this long, I cannot take it off of this inverse anymore. I would have to wait for the inverse and this order block. That's just a rule that I have. I've seen it save me multiple times. And so that's what I wanted. But I knew we obviously wouldn't get it because it would just end up displacing through this high. And then if it displaces through this high, that's my break-even point, my internal high. And then I can't enter anymore. And even if it didn't, it would have just gotten me in and then break-even me properly. So nothing clear today. I just bias wrong, I guess. Like higher time frame, I am still bullish, but I guess the short term has a different objective. Maybe we are going to reverse here still and go higher. Now, something that I was considering is maybe I need to change my model to like a higher RR bottom top tick type of model. Reason being, I realized I got very good at like pinpointing precise locations on when we're like where we're going to get a reaction off of. Like I knew that we're most likely not just going to get a reaction off of just straight up this 4-hour gap. We're going to get a reaction. Like if we're going to reverse from here, it's more likely going to be from the low that's inside of here. And what do? We soup this low perfectly. Let's say I was a like top and bottom ticking type of trader. That would, like if my entry model, let's say I switched it to like a rejection block, that's a rejection wick. Or maybe I would just straight up limit order it. Let's say I straight up limit ordered it. It got hit like middle of the wick. So let's say middle of this wick, this 1 minute wick with a low, let's say like a 20-point SL. For example, let's just say a 20-point SL. Or let's just say I waited for the rejection wick. Like that. And I got in like this, for example. And then I would have been like, oh, target this high, nearest high. This would have been good. It wouldn't have hit TP. Or maybe I would have actually closed it early because ES took the high. But yeah, like my point is that I've gotten good at finding like the areas that we get the reaction off of. And then same thing here on NQ, we got the same reaction off of that low. Now, maybe it's something I need to backtest, how good I am at pinpointing stuff like this, and if I can have it be profitable. I would even get my trade frequency up because a lot of these days for this past month that I've been uploading, a lot of these days I'm able to pinpoint where we reverse from and where we want to go, but I can't get a trade to it because my entry model doesn't allow it. Let's say like the inversion model isn't present there, or the internal targets aren't present there. But then we still end up reacting off of the area that I think we will react off of, or we still end up like, yeah. So if I'm able to, mechanize it in a way and it works for me, I can get my trade frequency up because I'm able to pinpoint these locations a lot of days. And then the RR will be better. It's just something I need to test out. Like I don't really want to switch models just because my trade frequency is bad, because my trade frequency is low right now, mostly because of the fact that the higher time frame is all choppy and we have no clear trending direction. Once that we have that, I think my trade frequency will definitely be up. But I don't know, it was just a thought. If I'm able to backtest it and it ends up working better than my current model does, why not? If it actually works, I'll definitely have to backtest it and forward test it before I make that switch. That would make a while, but by that time, maybe the price action will clear up. I don't know. It's just a thought. I don't really want to switch my model because mine is just mad simple. But I'll see. Maybe not switch my model, but I guess add them together where maybe I just switch my entry model, but I still use the same fundamentals of like internal targets, draws, things like that. Because this type of thing only really would work on like reversal trades mostly. Like if it's a continuation, it's harder to pinpoint, especially if the leg has nothing really in it. Like if it's just that, and then I need to do something like that, I can't pinpoint that with a like bottom tick personally. But if it's something like this is the leg, and then I can expect that to just be swept this low and then get an inversion. But like I said, I'll just back test it, and I have a lot of time today, so I might look into that today, and we'll see. But for now, no trades today, same P&L, 0 P&L for the day, same account balance, I mean. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow.